Awesome. So welcome everybody to the Bushbalm Hydrogel Vajacial Mask demo. First, we're just going to go through some basics of what the Vajacial is all about. And that way you guys can feel confident when Kim is showing you the demo. So just with a raise of hands here, or you can just drop it in the comments below, who here offers Vajacials in the treatment room right now? Awesome. We have a couple people. Okay, amazing. Love to see that we definitely have a few pros that already offer Vajacials in the service room. So the reason why we created this hydrogel Vajacial mask is for a couple of reasons. The search growth for Vajacial on Google has grown 600% in the last 5 years, which is insane. And additionally, Vajacial near me, the search term for that has gone up 900% in the last 5 years. So this not only shows us that people are curious about Vajacials and want to learn more, they're actually looking to get the service done themselves. On TikTok, Vajacial is trending all the time. We've seen incredible videos posted on there. So there's over 150 million views on TikTok for Vajacials. And finally, we wanted to create a product that would give you results in 10 minutes or less. So what makes the Bushbalm Hydrogel Vajacial Mask truly different? Well, first thing is that there is no dry time. You place the mask on the client, you leave it there for 10 minutes, and once the skin has really absorbed all the product and you can see a reduction in redness, you can just peel it off. You're not waiting for the product to set in any way. You can take it off whenever. There is no cleanup. So you're not mixing bowls. You don't need a sink for this. You truly just take the mask, you open it, you apply it on the client's skin, and you just throw it out. So super simple, super easy. Finally, third is that it's really, really easy inventory management. So because all the masks are in the sachets, you can easily count how many sachets you have left to be like, okay, I have 10 masks left. Maybe I should place my order so I'm stocked for next week. And finally, our mask is incredible because you can provide it as a product and service, or if you don't have time, you're a speed waxer and you're like, I want my clients in and out in 10 minutes, no more than that, then you can always send your client home with the mask to use in the comfort of their own home. Now, the 3 key ingredients to a hydrogel Vajacial mask and what really sets it apart is the aloe vera extract, green tea extract, and the hyaluronic acid. Kim will definitely be going further into detail into all those ingredients, but those are the key ingredients there. Now, this is an incredible before and after shared by one of our estheticians, but truly within 10 minutes, you really will see a difference. And we will see that difference in real time in today's demo. So the Bushbalm routine today, Kim is going to be guiding us through a quick little wax featuring our Bushbeads hard wax. But the Bushbalm Vajacial routine kind of goes as follows. You would prep the skin and cleanse the skin with a Bushbalm Intimate wipe. You would go in with the wax, and then you would do the Hydrogel Vajacial mask. You would finish off the service with one of our back bar oils, and then you want to ensure that your client is going home with aftercare product or has aftercare product at home so they can continue with their bikini line skincare routine. Now, today, Kim is going to be going over the basic Vajacial service, and this ends up being a 10 to 15 minute add-on service that you can add to a bikini or a Brazilian wax. And if you kind of combine the wax and the Vajacial time all together, it will vary between 30 minutes to an hour. Just depends how you like to provide your waxing service. This can be provided immediately after the wax is performed. So you don't have to send your client home and ask to see them in 2 weeks. You can truly get it done immediately. And this is great for any client, but it is especially great for clients who are especially dry, who are especially sensitive, and prone to inflammation immediately after hair removal. Now, Kim will explain in the call as well, but our Vajacial masks come in triangle and side strips. There's two separate. So the triangle is often used for the Vajacial service immediately after the wax, but our side strips can also be leveraged for different purposes as well. So our side strips can be used for the bikini line. So just like the Vajacial, you just leave it on the bikini line there for 10 minutes and you're good to go. The side strips can also be utilized for the underarms as well. So Vajacial masks are not limited to just the vulva. You can actually use it for the underarm as well. And finally, you could also get creative and apply it on the eyebrow as well. I know I get really red whenever I get my brows waxed. So the Vajacial mask really does help for that to help reduce redness. Now, as you can see, this is just a quick visual to truly show you that the triangle and the side strips visually show you that they are different. You can purchase them in quantities of 12, 36, and 72 on our website. And essentially, the more you buy, the lower the cost becomes. So buying in bulk is definitely recommended. And you can buy the masks separately. So you can just buy the triangles or just buy the side strips. If that was kind of followed your business model, or you can choose to purchase them in the bundle already. And this is ultimately the cheapest way that you can purchase the Vajacial mask. And finally, this is just a quick guide to show you how you can price your Vajacial service. I know Kim has her strategy as well, which she will speak on. But let's say you have the Vajacial service add-on for $30. So it would cost a client $30. The time commitment to you would be an additional $10. The cost of the mask, if you decided to just use the triangle, it would be $5. If you wanted to do the full set, it would be $9. So you end up profiting anywhere from $21 to $25 just by adding the mask into the service. So I know I just threw a lot of information at you guys, but trust me, it will all make sense once Kim goes into this demo. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to let Miss Kim take the floor.
Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon to some of you. My name is Kimberly. I am the in-house esthetician for Bushbalm, and I've been a licensed esthetician for going on 14 years, which is very wild to say, even out loud sometimes. Something that I find exciting as an esthetician is an ongoing improvement and things that we can do in our service room to improve our client's skin and continue this journey. And I love waxing. I've been a Brazilian waxer for about 13 years now. And I completely love what I do. I find it so much fun, and the passion that I have for it always just continues on, especially when I have amazing products and amazing, things that I can use in my treatment room that help make me and elevate me as an esthetician. So just thank you everybody for being here today. I know we had a lot of signups and I'm very excited. We're going to be doing a full Brazilian wax. My model Valentina is here. She's amazing. I love her so much. So if you've never seen a full vulva, today's your day. I will be giving you tips, tricks, things like that. If you have any questions, feel free to just throw them at me. I will try to answer them as I go. If you want to come off mute, that's great as well. And I'll just try to kind of explain everything that I'm doing along the way. And I want to treat Valentina like she's never had a wax. So you'll hear me asking her questions and kind of just showing you like the style that I run my room in. Please take what resonates with you. And if you have any questions on something, like I said, go ahead and ask away. So I haven't put my phone on her yet, but I'm about to do that. So if you can bear with me really quickly, we're going to do that. And from beginning to end, I'm going to be using all of the Bushbalm products. So we're going to start with cleansing, oil, wax. This is your one-stop shop, guys. And I'm so excited to show you all how I work. And hopefully this works for you. And let's get started. Thank you, Kiana. Okay. So we're going to turn on my camera. We got Valentina here, and we're gonna place the phone. So just give me a second. Okay. And then, so when you're with your client, please, you can all ask them to go into their positions that they need to be in. So I start off with butterfly legs. You might also know it as like froggy legs, or just touch the bottoms of your feet together like a butterfly. And that way they can go ahead and get comfy. Some people might need a second. They might need to stretch a little. That's completely fine. Let me just find the best angle possible here without hurting you. I'm sorry about it. Okay, does this look good? Everybody feels comfortable with this? Awesome. So we're gonna begin. Usually I will ask my client if they're comfortable, if they feel good. I have a very comfortable table. So that's usually what makes me feel confident that my client's gonna be comfortable on the table. So we're gonna go ahead and take the Intimate Refreshing Wipes, obviously by Bushbalm. And we're going to go ahead and do a quick cleanse. These are really great because they come in a pack or they come in bulk. I love to purchase or receive bulk because I have them out on my table for clients to refresh before their appointment. You can put them in the restroom. Again, this is just a really nice wipe because it's pH balanced as well. So gynecologist, dermatologist approved. Okay. So depending on your client and the type of labias they have, you still want to go ahead and pull apart a little bit and get it in there. I don't do too much cleansing. I just kind of cleanse above and around. So the next step, completely up to you. If you want to do Bermuda oil or nude oil, as you can see, my Bermuda oil is halfway through. My nude oil over there is completely full. And the reason I love Bermuda is because this is the brightening oil. And this has jojoba seed, grape seed, the lightning ingredient or the brightening ingredient is going to be the lemon essential oil peel. So you don't need a lot. I just put a little bit, like 1 or 2 pumps. And you just want to work it in there into the skin. And the reason being is because it's going to create a protective barrier between the wax and the skin, helps to hydrate the skin, prevent ingrown hairs. And in general, if the client has a bit of flat hair, which is sometimes normal for clients who are not exfoliating, it'll help to hydrate the skin. Okay. So my Bushbeads is ready. It's at a really great temperature. You want it to be at like a cake batter consistency. And this next step I didn't do, but you can add cornstarch powder if you'd like. Right now that it's a little colder outside and windier, I find that they don't really need it. I feel like cornstarch powder is really great during the summertime, or like if your client tends to be a little bit sweaty, which we all know is very normal. So I got my wax here. This is a good amount of wax. We're going to start with the 4 fingers outside of her bikini line. So as an esthetician, sometimes I've heard questions on like, how should the wax look? How should it move? You're always welcome to patch test on yourself. But because I've been an SD for such a long time and I've been doing this for a long time, I kind of have an idea of the way the wax should move and the way it looks. If the wax is falling off the stick quickly, that means it's too hot. If it's starting to kind of cool off and you look at it, that's the best time to apply this to the wax, to the skin. As you can see how quickly that dry, which is why I love Bushbeads, to be honest with you, because if you're a fast-paced waxer, if you are brand new, it doesn't really matter. The wax is really easy to work with, and you can leave it on the skin a little longer and it won't break, which is what's nice, especially if you're a first-time beginner waxer. This is a very easy wax to work with. So I'm laying my stick at a really nice angle. You could see that it's nice and it's going through. That's the one thing I'll say. It does dry really quickly, so you have to make sure you're finishing up that strip very quick. And this is how you could tell if a wax is dry. If it sounds tacky, it's not dry. This is perfect. So we're going to go ahead and pull this. We made a nice lift already here, so we're not going to need anything else, or we're not going to pick at the skin. So you just tell your client to take a nice deep breath in, breathe out. Take those deep breaths with them. Honestly, I feel like they enjoy the esthetician and the person like working with them to take those breaths with them. And it also kind of just helps align yourself with the client and take those deep breaths, okay? So we're going in for a cleanup strip. I always tell my client, okay, this next cleanup strip might feel a little warmer because most of that barrier and that hair is already gone. So you might feel the warmth of the wax direct to the skin, and it might feel a little warmer. Because I know we all know clients can exaggerate. They start to say, it's hot, it's hot. Always remind them, it's not hot, it's just going to feel a little warmer. And hold the skin nice and taut. Anytime you have a client who has a little more body, you want to have them hold their skin taut. Or you yourself, if you can hold to the side, you can go ahead and do that. So this is nice and dry. Take a deep breath, breathe out. And then don't ever forget to apply some pressure. It'll help with the pain. You can see all that gorgeous hair that's lifted. And we're going to just start working a little faster, okay, guys? Just because I want to make sure we have enough time for the vajacial portion of this. And I kind of want to touch on something about wax in general. The temperature of the wax. If you're new here, that's fine. But just so you know, sometimes we look at a bag of wax and it'll say a specific temperature. I've been asked, like, why does it say Celsius on the wax pod and then it says Fahrenheit, or you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a little confusing. If I can give you a tip for you, is to watch for the consistency of the wax. Most of the time, you don't really need to know the temperature, what to set something in. It's about melting the wax properly and setting the temperature as you go, because sometimes our room gets hot in here, it gets cold in here, so the wax starts to get really cold on the surface. So what you do is you just kind of have to keep looking at it. And the best way I can describe it is kind of like when you're cooking. Sometimes you have to bring down the temperature. Sometimes you have to put it up, but always be mindful and watch your wax as you're working. And anytime you apply wax to the body, you always want to make sure you're looking at the wax anyway. So we're going to go into the mons pubis now. This is my technique. Again, this is the way I learned back in the day, European Wax Center vibes. I loved working there for the reason that I was able to master my technique very quickly. They are speed waxers there. But I really always wanted to work with people directly because I felt like I was talented in what I was doing, but I didn't feel comfortable waxing at a pace of 15 minutes per client. So if that's something that you are comfortable doing, that's great. But personally, I like to take my time with my client in my room and establish that trust and the connection. So we're going to go into her labia now. So I call this the lay one, pull one. So you have to lay a strip and then you pull another strip. That's what makes this go a lot faster. So again, once that's set, you're going to check the top. It's ready. Take a deep breath in, breathe out. Good job. Very good. So you could see nice amount of hair pulled. Can we see that? Here we are. There we are. Beautiful. And you could see most of her hair lifted. And this is when you can start asking clients, okay? Plug it in. Start talking. Are we exfoliating, Valentina?
Not as much as I should be.
Okay. And if she could say yes, she's exfoliating. But when you look at her skin, the strip, you can really tell if they're doing a great job or not. This is a good time to start chatting about maintenance. Are we exfoliating? Do you have the proper products you need? How often are you doing it? I find that sometimes people say it's hard to sell retail. It's not about selling the retail. It's about finding what the client needs and do suggestive selling. So I just suggest you do this because if you're going to want beautiful results, smooth skin, brighter skin, no ingrowns, you need to be doing your maintenance. So that comes with 3 times exfoliating at home and applying an oil after every shower. So this is nice and ready. Are you ready? She said no. So we're about to pull her labia strip, guys. Let's get a nice hold of this strip and we're going to pull it off and we're going to apply some pressure, okay? Take a deep breath in and quickly pull and always apply pressure. So we could see this gorgeous strip. She did have a nice amount of hair. You could see that. And as an SD, I always say, like, look at this, look at your follicles. Like, you kind of want to show them what's happening. Some people don't want to see it, but most of my clients don't mind. They like seeing it. And so see, I'm going to stir my wax. That's just because it's already getting nice and cool at the top. So I'm going to turn up my wax just by a tad bit. So this is a cleanup strip, and we're gonna wait to do that one. So let's go ahead and apply the next labia. This is literally my technique. I know not everybody is comfortable with going into labia right away, but I don't mind it. Okay. Oh, there you go. A deep breath in, and we're gonna shimmy that one. I call it the stagger technique. It's just not a quick pull. It's just gonna be a very light stagger. And the reason being is because some of these hairs are very stubborn, and it'll help to pick them up pretty quickly. I don't know if anyone does the stagger technique, but please put a little hand up or something. Let me know if you've ever tried the stagger technique. So we're about to lay the next strip right through the mons pubis, right in through here. And then let's check the labia. To see how quickly Bushbeads is quickly drying, which I really appreciate as somebody who is a speed waxer. I love that it dries really quickly. It makes my job a lot easier. It's still a little tacky, but the reason being is I laid that strip a little thicker because sometimes the labia hairs are a little thicker, so I want to make sure I'm doing a nice thick strip. Once we go into cleanup strips, you're welcome to lay the strips a little thinner. Okay. So this is nice. And even if it's tacky, like let's just do it for just for today. You could hear that it's still tacky. Let's pull it off. Take a deep breath. There you go. So you could see by the wax itself that it is still very tacky and it's still pulled. It didn't break. It was great. So if you're somebody who's a very, very quick waxer, you're going to love Bushbeads. Deep breath in, breathe out. Good job. And I always tell them, good job. I always say, good job. You did great. Like, reassure them. Let them know they're doing good. Okay. So the last strip you can see, right? It's like the mons pubis down to the clitoral hood. She still has a little hair here, but this is the beauty of it is we're going to lay kind of a strip all the way down. So I always, again, let them know you're almost done. I have one more strip. The rest is cleanup. You've gone through the worst parts of the wax already. And I'm always very honest. I don't like to sugarcoat the fact that they're, you know, especially like a first timer, like I'm not going to be like, oh, no, this isn't going to hurt. I'm like, you know what? It might hurt a little bit. Depends on your pain tolerance. We'll figure it out when we get there. Okay. This is a nice little trick for people who are new to Brazilian waxing. So let's just say you're not really great at doing lifts yet. Lifts are basically just like the part where you can lift it. You're going to go ahead and create a lift on your glove. And this is called daisy chaining. So basically you create a nice lift. This is obviously really big. It doesn't need to be this big, but you're going to let it dry. And once it's dry, you're going to marry it onto the top. So shiny side to shiny side. Okay. So this is pretty much dry. I could pull it off. No problem. I mean, I know my lift and I know that it's a good lift. So you're going to grab that part of the wax we just put onto our glove. And you're going to put the shiny side onto the shiny side. And you kind of like melt it on there, if that makes sense. So this is really good for people who don't know how to create lifts yet. I myself am not somebody who likes picking. So that's when you grab your wax stick and you're like picking at the wax. I feel like that's painful, but that's just my opinion. Okay, take a deep breath. And there we go. So you can kind of see that lift stayed stuck and it's still nice and tacky, but it did the job. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to do just a little bit of oil again. I kind of use oil like almost like a cleanse. And again, if these hairs are kind of flat, the oil will help to lift those hairs a little easier. And again, I'm using the Bermuda back bar oil. And here we go again. If you're a waxer, you know you got to keep stirring that wax. Check the temperature. And we are turning our pot down already. So as some of you may know, anytime you're doing cleanup strips, this is a great time to analyze the client's skin. Check how the growth of the hair is coming along. Explain to them maintenance. Explain to them at this point how often they should be coming in. And that would be every 4 to 6 weeks. It just depends on their comfort. The hair has to be the size of a grain of rice. So if it's a grain of rice or longer, this is a great time for them to come in. At this point, too, you could let them know if their hair is slowing down. They could push their appointments back by a week or so. I'm always very honest just because I want to make sure my clients having and experiencing the best results possible. As you can see right now, I am twiddling my stick a little because you can see how quickly the wax might be moving. And this is where you want to be careful because it's a cleanup, so the wax might feel a little warmer on them. So again, just be more mindful. We're going back in with the same strip we just finished, but this time we're cleaning it up. And you can kind of get a little more, more body in here. See how the oil, also like people say, oh, doesn't the oil, like it gets too thick on the skin so the wax kind of doesn't move. Sometimes it does happen to me, but sometimes I just keep going with the wax and it'll cover it up eventually. But as of right now, I have not been using cornstarch and I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know. Deep breath. See, that pool wasn't so crazy. And look at all of the hair that grabbed. Oh my goodness. I wish you guys could see this better. Is that good? Yeah, that was an amazing strip. Like, just look at all the hair that lifted. And again, I put oil right before I did that. So I feel like the oil is like the holy grail sometimes. Like, it really does make a difference if you apply oil to the skin or not. And so we're going to go back in, clean up, clean up, clean up. Let me try to hurry up here so we can move on to the vajacial part. Does anybody have any questions so far regarding anything with waxing and bush beads? Please let me know. So bush beads is unscented, guys, and it's hypoallergenic, so it's really great for sensitive skin. Again, like I said, I love the way the wax lays, the way it dries. It's just a very like top tier, top shelf type of a wax that I feel like is worth definitely trying out and seeing if it works for you. So I'm just checking my wax. Here we go. Now that we pretty much have removed most of the hair, now you can start laying longer strips. And the reason being is you don't want to ever go against the grain of the hair because you don't want to cause breakage or damage to the skin, lifting the skin. So always just lay the wax in the direction of the hair growth and pull against. For cleanup strips, you're more than welcome to do different type of strips, backward strips, all that good stuff. And see, from here on, you're not going to see me pulling the strip all harsh. We're just going to kind of stagger that wax strip. And we're going to go this way now, all the way through. How are you doing, Valentina? How do you feel?
Yeah.
Awesome. And I've waxed you many times. Do you ever feel like it's not tolerable or like you want to walk out?
Oh no, especially with you. I tell you all the time, I feel so comfortable going to because how fast you are and the pressure you apply after. And I don't know, you just make it definitely like a much better experience.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
But I'm not just saying that, like I really do mean it. Like,
I'm like, are you?
it's not
People are gonna think
painful
I'm
if
forcing you to say this.
Yeah, it really is not as bad as people make it seem.
Okay, so we're going backwards now. This is one of the last strips I'm probably gonna do on her. I still have to go back into the labia, but you can see how thin this strip is too. Like I'm not really laying it very thick, and the reason being is because most of that hair is gone already. Okay. Alrighty. There you go. Sometimes I'm impatient. It was still tacky, but you saw. Again, guys, I've worked with so many waxes, and the reason being that I'm excited for this wax is because it doesn't break. And I feel like that's like one of the most awkward things as an esthetician when your wax breaks mid-strip and your clients are like waiting for that wax to come off and you're like, oh my God. Like, so I get really excited for that. Like I don't ever feel like scared to use this wax is what I'm saying. And there's like other waxes I've had and tried and I'm like, oh my God, this is not going the way I intended. And I kind of have to look at my client and be like, I swear I know what I'm doing. And I've been doing this for a long time. It's not me, it's the wax. So Bush Beads, thank you for that. Always being that it girl. Let's go ahead and look at the questions. I had saw some. What worked for me is to make the model screen unpin here. Sorry guys, I'm reading some of these. What would you consider a fast wax? Is there a minimum SE should spend with their client? Oh, Jamie, I feel like that's always up to you. Like I was saying earlier, I am normally the type that I block out 30 minutes for a Brazilian wax. And the reason being is because sometimes clients can run late. Um, Sometimes like when you're waxing somebody, they can have literally like a small amount of hair, or some people can come in with a full bush. I kind of don't know what's coming in through my door in that moment, in that day. So I don't want to feel rushed. I don't want anyone to ever feel rushed during a Brazilian wax. So I block out 30 minutes. I think within the 30 minutes, I'm done within like 12 to 15 minutes. So most of it is like chat. It's like the undressing, the bathroom. Yeah, so that I block out 30 minutes. If I'm doing a wax and vajacial, I block out an hour. And again, that way they can relax on the table. We apply the mask. This is a good time to add on like an underarm wax. It's a great time to add on whatever else you offer in your studio. So like a scalp massage, upper lip wax, brow wax, face wax. It just depends on what you're offering for you. Good job. And you saw all that good hair. I feel like you need one more, and then we're going to move on to the brush. And again, whatever it doesn't lift, it might be flat hair, it might be stubborn, tiny hairs. This is when you can go ahead and tweeze it at the end, okay? Yes, Emma, we're gonna do the butt strip right now. And there's different positions that you can have your client in. For example, like I don't know if you guys wax pregnant women or have ever waxed pregnant women, especially like near the end of their journey being pregnant. You can always have them go to their sides. So there's different versions of the butt strip that I've learned. So you can have them lay on their side, and then they would grab their bum and then they would pull apart. Or they can go on all fours. That's my preferred, because they just kind of put their elbows down on the table, their butt is all in the air, and that way you can see front to back. Or the best one that I've worked with and I love and adore is just knees to chest, the most simple one. So there are different versions of that. Go ahead and put your legs straight, Valentina. So we're gonna move the camera angle, guys. So get ready. We're about to go knees to chest. I always have my client stretch her legs forward. That way she has a minute to kind of relax her legs from being in butterfly pose. So we're gonna go ahead and move the camera. Okay, guys, 1 second. And then let's make sure this is a good angle, okay? Go ahead and go knees to chest for me really quick. Okay. I just want to make sure this looks good. Okay, so we're gonna help Valentina. This is literally the best example of how you can go ahead and have your client lay. So you're gonna go ahead knees to chest, but I want you to just bring your legs up and then pull them apart. Pull, pull, pull. The more you pull apart, the better. So I always kind of help them. I will put hands on them because I want them to start feeling my hands moving around this area. Most clients will freak out this part. They're like, no, I don't think I want to do it. Or especially their first timer, they might get a little scared. But always let them know that the butt strip is the least painful part. I do feel in my heart that it's true. And a lot of clients will tell you the truth that it is the least painful part. So we're going to go ahead and grab maybe half of her labia. I don't know if people are going to be like, wait, didn't you go over that area already? Again, reason why I love bush beads is like I can go over the area a couple times and it's not going to irritate the skin. She's a little pink, but that's completely normal for a Brazilian wax, okay? A deep breath. And apply some mild pressure, nothing crazy. You can overlap these. That is completely fine. Depending on the hair and the client, I'll see if I overlap or not. So we're going to go ahead and apply and go right into and through the anus. Like, don't be scared to graze that wax into the anus, like legit. I've had clients ask me, is it going to go inside? Is it going to get stuck inside? It's not. It will not. Jamie laughed. It says here, for clients with full hair on their bum cheeks, do you consider that an extra add-on service? Absolutely. If they want to add on the full butt, that's a full butt wax. I charge $50 for a full butt wax. And here is that hair. We could see. Gorgeous. Love to see it. And then we're gonna do the cleanups now. So again, most of that hair is gone, so let's go ahead and be mindful of the wax temp. If she needs a minute at this point, depends on your client, they might need a second. But it looks like she's doing well, so let's just keep this going. Let's check the wax. Again, we're checking our temperature all the time. It looks like it's still moving a little, you know. So this is good. This is not gonna hurt. It's not gonna do anything bad. Let's go ahead and apply. And now we're gonna do the overlap. That's what I was saying earlier. So I kind of call this, I don't even know, I call it the butterfly technique, like where you literally like create a butterfly and then you let it dry and then you're gonna pull it at the same time. I know there's trends out there, people who do things like this. I myself don't do more of the trendy stuff for fun. If I want to, I will, but for the most part, I kind of try to keep it very safe. I'm never trying to be sorry. I always want to make sure everything works out properly for my client and that I'm not doing something for a video or something like that. So we're going to wait. This is like, I don't like to feel this too many times. So when I feel it, I want to make sure it's good. So it's still pretty tacky, but I think we should just pull it off. This is what I do. I pull, I marry it, pull back down, and then you're going to, and there you go. That was really good. We did still have some hair in there. And she still has a little hair in there, so we're going to do one more. Sorry, Valentina. And it's mostly on the outside, so I don't have to go all the way in. I'm just going to focus on the little hairs that are kind of on the outside. So anything outside of this, Emma, I would consider adding on a full butt wax. So recently I did have someone come in and she wanted a full butt wax, but she thought it came with the Brazilian wax because of the butt strip. And I explained to her, but sometimes it doesn't take too much just to explain to them and they appreciate it. And that girl ended up staying and getting it done with another SC here that works here. So it all worked out, but definitely take time to explain these things to your clients. Okay. And she's all done. Thank you, Valentina. All righty. So at this point, we're done. So now what we're going to do is make sure all of the residue is off of her skin. You can see how you are. That's perfect. So we're going to get into the vajacial part now. Let's see here. What's your price for Brazilian? I charge $70. I'm here in California, in Los Angeles, in the San Fernando Valley. And I charge $70. I know I should raise my prices already. I haven't raised them in a couple years. So that's probably coming maybe mid-year. So yeah. Any tips of cleaning strings off of your wax pot? Actually, I clean it with a little bit of the Bushbalm oil. That's how I clean it. I kind of heat it all the way up, then in my day, and then I grab a little Bushbalm oil, and then it comes right off. That's a really good trick. If you haven't tried that, try it. Find the smell. Somebody said they like your Valentine's nails.
Thank you.
She did them herself, guys. Okay, so now we're putting a little bit of oil. Okay. Again, like I literally just put 1 drop of oil and that's pretty good, okay? You can see she still has some tiny hairs, but not a lot. There's so little and we're going to extract those. And I do see a couple ingrown, so hopefully we can get to those as well. All right. Any questions regarding Brazilian wax, regarding bush beads, hard wax, anything like that, please let me know. Okay. So the next step we're going to do is high frequency. High frequency is an electric modality. It's basically great for killing bacteria, restoring blood flow to the skin, preventing ingrowns, bumps, breakouts, acne, anything like that. In general, just helps to bring redness down. So this is going to be a really great modality to have. Remember to make sure the client can have this done. So you always want to ask like if they're have any autoimmune disorders, pregnant, nursing, heart conditions, anything like that. Make sure that they are good to go, which they should have already filled something out like that, maybe in their intake form, but always ask again because you just never know. And the client could end up being pregnant and you wouldn't know it. Okay, so this is a really great modality. So we're just going to do it for about 30 seconds. You could use a gauze if you want, but I just placed my finger on the modality before and then you let go. And maybe about 20 seconds, nothing crazy. We're just trying to go over more of the areas that you know your clients have ingrowns and things like that. And again, in general, just to help kill the bacteria. The pores are open for the next 24 to 48 hours. So this is going to help to just sterilize that skin. And it comes with different heads. I know for a fact that it comes with like 4 different heads, but I'm just using the one that's like the zapper for like the little ones, like the little pimples, but this is okay. And do you feel anything, Valentina? No, right? You're not supposed to feel anything. And there's also a level of like where you can control the level of it. So just be mindful that somebody might feel it if you have it all the way up. So just give them a fair warning. So after this, you're going to go ahead and sterilize this, clean this later. You could put it where your SMA is. And this is the fun part. This is why we're all here. We're about to apply the Hydrogel Vajacial masks. And I recently started using these in my room because I felt like it was super hard to clean up after each client, especially when you're booked back to back. I felt like it was starting to become a hassle. And as much as I wanted to be patient with those results and like the way of the style of the mask, it just became too much for me. So when Bushbalm launched the Hydrogel Vajacial mask, I was extremely happy. So when you pull it out, it's going to be in between 2 lines. So the lining and then the top liner. So it is going to be infused with aloe vera, hyaluronic acid, and green tea extract. And you kind of want to gently pull it out. It's good that it has all of the ingredients packed in there. I will usually grab the other part and kind of like dab it on the body. So you pull it apart as much as you possibly can. And here it is. I like that it's see-through. I like that it's super clean too. And you always want to warn your client, let them know it's going to be a little cold. I know, I'm so sorry. And then you're going to apply it onto the skin. And then you can go ahead and open the legs a little bit, kind of like right there. There you go. And you're going to put that on. I never skip out on the extra ingredients. I will always open it up a little bit and see if there's any additional ingredients in there and see how much came out. Oh my God, that was a lot. So look at that. So I'm just going to apply that excess ingredient around her. Beautiful. There we go. And then we're going to grab the side strips. The side strips are really great for different add-ons. I know that sometimes we as SDs like want to get the most out of a product. So this is really great for underarms. I think Yana had mentioned like it's really great for like after an underarm wax. It'll help to hydrate the skin. It'll help to soothe and relax the skin. And it just feels really nice. Honestly, very cooling to the body. I'm going to grab that excess product. Again, just trying to put it everywhere. And here's the other one. Ready? And another great place you can add on this side strips are to like eyebrows. So like if you're an eyebrow waxer, it's really great because it'll cool off the skin. It'll help to just bring down all that redness from like threading or waxing. Would you recommend putting the mask in the fridge? Just wondering because I have a skincare fridge in my room. Absolutely, Emma. Emma's coming through with all the great questions. You are amazing. Thank you for these. I actually would suggest to put it in the fridge. You can. They're already cold. Like they are already cold, but absolutely, if you wanted to give it that extra step, you can. And you'll see at the end as well. I apply a cold globe at the end, and that's when I'll go ahead and at the end, I'll just kind of like cool off the skin a little extra with the cold globe. So that's kind of my style, what I do. After I take this off, we'll focus a little bit on extractions and on tweezing as well. Okay, so you can leave this mask on for up to 10 minutes. This is a great mask for anybody who's just a little bit pink at the end or just wants to really hydrate their skin. And then again, the things that you can do in between this. So if your client's laying there for 10 minutes, this is a great time to discuss pre-booking, products, or do an add-on. I personally do a lot of add-ons for underarm waxing when this is happening. So when they're just laying there, You can do a scalp massage to like, relax them a little, turn down the lights. You could do a little massage. So just try to find things that you can add in between the 10 minutes to make yourself a little more productive. You can clean your room. You can have a quick lunch, use the restroom. So it's kind of a nice little 10-minute moment for them to just relax and lay on the table. So if anybody has questions on these products, or especially the hydrogel mask, please let me know. But as of right now, we're going to let her sit there for a couple minutes. And then I'll step out to grab our globe and I'll show you guys the end of the treatment. Okay, let me see if I have any other questions here that I missed.
I guess, Kim, in the meantime, we can talk about how you're going to be joining our booth at IECSC New York.
Yes, I'm super excited. We are going to be heading to New York. We're going to be having a really fun booth. I'm super excited to be there because we're going to be showcasing Bushbeads, and we're going to need models, and it'll be so great to have more of an interactive booth and get our hands on the wax and showcase all of the great stuff we have. So if anyone's going to be going, please let us know. We'll see you there. I think those are all the questions. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Are you going to be putting some products after the bikini mask? Yes. We're going to be wrapping it up with a cold globe. This is when I put on the oil. And again, this is a really great time to plug in your retail. So we'll probably be using the strawberry champagne oil. And this is how I sell a lot of my products. I show it to them while they're on my table. And most of the time, they're really excited when they get to try a product that's brand new and isn't out yet. So we'll probably be doing that. And then we'll do extractions and tweezing. Is it safe to use steam before the mask? That is the most contradicting thing that I've dealt with as an SD. I personally do steam, and I was not sure if that's something I wanted to do today because I don't want to confuse people. That's something that I personally do in my business. I don't mind it, and my clients actually enjoy the steam, but it is something that I would say do what's best for you and your clients. I know that the ozone in the steam creates a sterile steam, so it's not going to harm the skin, but it's always up to you because I know that as SDs in school and when we do classes and courses, we're told not to steam the same day. If you offer different types of Vajacials, for example, like a deluxe Vajacial, then you're welcome to steam, obviously. But that's totally up to you. I left it out for a reason today, but for future purpose, completely do what works best for you and your clients and your business. Oh, Patty's going to be at the Dallas show. That sounds like so much fun. Emma said, love your apron. Is it available to purchase for SDs? Kiana, I don't know if you want to touch on the apron.
So Emma, the aprons, currently they're not available for sale, but this is something our team is working on in the background. So we hope to have some special announcements for everybody in the spring.
Great. And then Alejandra, I do believe you can take your husband to the show with you. He just needs to buy a ticket. I believe anybody can come, right? It's just that you have to have a ticket to the show.
Yeah, we see a lot of super husbands carrying around all the bags.
It's
for
always
their
so
lovely wives.
yeah, I love to see it. Good supportive significant others. Bruna, I think yes, you can use LED light for sure. You can use a handheld device. I'm not sure what type of device you'd be using, but the mask is a clear mask. So if you use a light therapy, it should work beautifully. I've used in the past like blue light therapy for acne prone, ingrown prone skin. Red light's just great for anti-aging in general. If they have like eczema and anything like, what is that called? Eczema or like just like dry skin in general, rosacea style, like very just, you could do the yellow light. And then green light is for brightening. So I would definitely consider those. That's great. That's a really great add-on too, Bruna. Honestly, it's a really great add-on for your client while they're laying there. It's a really, really good suggestion. I will be back in a second. I'm gonna grab my globe. It's in my cold fridge outside, and then we're gonna wrap it up in a bit, okay? But if anyone has any other questions, I know we got 5 minutes, so let's speed up this last process, okay? 1 second.
You're still pretty.
You can hear me? Okay, so here it is. This is the cold globe. This one I purchased through Amazon, and I leave them in my cold fridge outside. I probably should consider having one in my room though, because I do obviously offer a lot of these. So, okay. So I'm gonna refresh my gloves. And at this point too, you can grab your handy dandy tweezers. And I think we've only left it on for like 5 minutes. You could still see just how hydrated her skin looks in general. So I'm always going to start with extractions. I love me a good like extraction. Look at that. She's so good. And clients do not like being tweezed. They don't like being extracted. So I'm very quick with it just so that I don't have to linger too much on poking on my client. And again, this is a great time to let them know that their maintenance is important because those hairs were just flat. Basically, they were long enough to get waxed, but we couldn't wax them because they were a little flat. But see how after the mask was set, the hydration in the skin helped to lift those hairs a little bit better. Okay. So what I want you to do is go ahead and butterfly carefully. And we're going to take, we're going to take strawberry champagne. Super excited. So this is the newest limited edition product at Bushbalm. And so I did like three pumps. You know your client's skin is dehydrated when you do 3 pumps and their skin just soaks in all the oil. So again, an amazing time to plug in an oil, let them know their skin was very dehydrated and their skin completely soaked in all that oil. So this is a time where you kind of just cool off the skin a little more. And again, warn the client, let them know it's going to feel a little cold. But as always, the thing that excites me is seeing the difference in the skin, like how pink she was. And then all of a sudden, like her skin looks so hydrated, so just, I think like just glossy and like so healthy in general. And focus like the cold globe on areas you feel are a little more pink. And so at this point, I still do one more check. I'll still go ahead and like make sure everything looks good. I'll open up the labias. At this point, I'll even hand like the product to my client. I'll be like, do you want to go ahead and like smell it, look at it? So that way they can get familiar with it. And most of the time clients will be like, oh my God, that smells so good. Like I really want to take this with me. Or when we have it available, if it's not available yet, kind of creates a little hype around the product before it even launches. Okay. And some clients will not let you tweeze. That's fine. Like I have clients who are like, no, it's fine. Leave it. I'll get it next time. That's fine too. So just so you know, not everybody lets you tweeze them. As you can tell, Valentina's body language is telling me otherwise. She's being brave because she knows she has an audience. But normally I think you'd be like, okay, Kim, that's enough. So, and then don't be afraid to put that rest of that product on the client, like move it around. You don't want them to get up super oily, but you can see how quickly the skin has absorbed the product. And this is a good time to just make sure all the hair is gone. Once that oil is applied to the skin, you'll notice a lot of hairs will start to like lift. And again, that's just a really nice way to remind your clients, like, I know the oil is really important for your skin because a lot of these hairs were not visible and now they are. Okay, I think she's good. let's let her be. So go ahead and put your legs straight. Thank you so much. At this point, you could also add a Vajacial. You can put something on them for fun. I know that Valentine's Day is coming up, so something I would probably want to do is like ask her if she wants to add a Vajacial in there. Usually there's a heart in here, but these are also really fun for clients to add on at the end. You could usually add this on for like $3 or something like that, just for them to have fun with it. And we're all done. That was it, guys. How do we feel about waxing clients if they have a tampon? I don't mind it. I just work around it, but wanted to know your perspective. I do it all the time. All you got to do is tuck in the string, tuck her in backwards, tuck her in forward. I don't feel like that should become a problem. If you are comfortable doing it, then don't do it. But I've seen it all. I've done it all. I'm comfortable with it. What tweezers do you recommend? I personally use Tweezerman in my room. I've tried other brands, and I think those are just like my comfort. That's like what I normally use. So I buy those. They're like the stainless steel ones, and they're a little expensive, but I feel like they're worth it. Okay. All right, Kiana.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Kim, for the lovely demo. And Valentina, thank you for being a beautiful, perfect model. This demo will be it is recorded and we will be posting it. So if you missed anything, you want to rewatch something, it'll be available to you. I'm going to wrap up the call now since we are at time. But Kim, thank you so much for giving us an incredible demo and being the most amazing in-house SD.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that you were able to learn something. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me personally on my Instagram. I'll put it here on the comment section in case you are not following me, and I will give you a follow back as well. But I'm always here to assist in anything Bushbalm related. I am the in-house SD, so please feel free to message me questions you might have in the future.